The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. The campus placed on lockdown for hours after a gunman fatally shot a faculty member. Police apparently making the arrest on live TV. Here's Ali Vitale.
Tonight, an alarming if too familiar scene. A college campus on lockdown after a deadly shooting.
Possible active shooter on campus.
This time at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
I'm grieved to report that one of our faculty members was killed in this shooting. This loss is devastating, and the shooting damages the trust and safety that we so often take for granted in our campus community.
It began this afternoon with a school alert for an armed, dangerous person on or near campus. Go inside now. Avoid windows. Just 1 week after classes started.
Has a 9mm, possible Asian male.
Heavily armed officers swarming the campus. Students walking down the street with hands up. Many posting pictures sheltering inside school buildings.
So immediately we all just stayed hiding in the stalls, squatting on the toilets, just scared. We didn't know what was happening.
It was terrifying because, you see that on your phone and you think it's just one of those things.
Police putting out this photo of what they called a person of interest. Then what appeared to be an arrest late today, shown on NBC station WRAL.
And now they're leading the person around the vehicle in handcuffs. That's the person we saw sitting down on the street with his hands behind his back, getting into the back of that police car.
And just after 4 o'clock, the campus given the all clear.
Ali, we'll never get used to that sight of students with their hands up leaving a college campus. There are a lot of questions here about what led up to this and what actually happened.
Absolutely, Lester. Chief, among them, how and why this happened. At this hour, both the suspect and victim are unidentified. Law enforcement are still searching for a firearm. Nevertheless, a harrowing and frightening way to go back to school.
Who is Tylee Chi in terms of what is on the Applied Physical Sciences webpage? But as I mentioned, WRAL's Sarah Kruger has been digging into that. She joins us live on Williams Circle in Chapel Hill. So, Sarah, break this down. Who is this person?
Chris, right, just to set up first where we are, again, we are on Williams Circle. This is where we have that exclusive video of the suspect being taken into custody and of police searching this home right here behind me, which now you can see is not taped off any longer. Things out here in this neighborhood now back to normal. As you mentioned, we've been looking into the background of this suspect, Tylee Chi. We know he is a second-year PhD student at UNC. He joined what's known as the Yan Research Group in January of 2022, and at UNC, he studies what sounds like some very complicated science, nanoparticle synthesis, light matter interaction, spectra analysis, and machine learning. He has a master's degree in material science and engineering. That is from LSU, and he has a bachelor's degree in physics. That's from Wuhan University in China. On his LinkedIn page, he says he likes running and hiking. He was an 800-meter champion and 6th place of the 1,500-meter years ago. He plays badminton, tennis, and table tennis. We also were looking at his Twitter page and going through some of his old tweets, and what we found there, he talks about loneliness, wanting to make some friends. He also talks about bullying being a problem in America. We will continue to go through all of this and bring you what we learn. Chris and Lena.
And Sarah, have you been able to talk to any more neighbors? I know Aaron was focusing his camera on that blue home behind you. Do we know any connection to that blue home at this point?
Lena, we don't. I know Aaron talked to a number of neighbors out here who said they do not recognize this man. They do not believe that he lives in this neighborhood. We're about 1.5 miles from campus, and I just got to the scene about 5 minutes ago. So after this live report, I will go see what I can learn from neighbors. But right now, his connection, if any, to this neighborhood is really unclear.
All right, Sarah Kruger, live for us on Williams Circle. Please check in as soon as you learn anything new. A lot new, though, in terms of her scrubbing his social media. Certainly the part about loneliness and conversations around bullying in this country.
Yeah, and we had seen some of those posts as well, in the newsroom as we were looking in. But again, Sarah digging a little deeper into what exactly may have been his social media history, a LinkedIn profile as well, kind of breaking down a little bit about what he is into in terms of studying. We know that, again, on the website, the Applied Physical Sciences website, they kind of have some more details as well. Now, Sarah mentioned that he also has it listed that he had once attended Louisiana State University as well as Wuhan University over in China. But we still have a lot of questions we're trying to get with this. For example, why this faculty member? What is the motive behind this? What led up to this, all of it? Again, on your screen, we have the suspect there sitting on the ground with police there. Again, that is Tylee Chi. We just really are trying to get more from investigators during a press conference that hopefully begins soon. But again, I think a lot of people right now asking why.
Right.
Why?
Right, yeah. So soon into the start of the school year. Was this planned? Was this just an impulsive situation? We don't know that as you're seeing the video that we have of him being put in that patrol car. So here again, we've been following this now for a few hours. This first alert coming out just after 1 o'clock. We should say again, campus police, Alert Carolina, UNC officials have given the all clear. Campus is now safe. Students are able to walk about freely. Classes remain canceled for the rest of the evening, as you can imagine, as there's a massive investigation unfolding. We're waiting to hear from officials there at Carolina Inn for any new information, any more information about what unfolded. Again, but we have learned that this was a fatal shooting. One faculty member, according to sources we talked to, has died.
And we're hopefully trying to get information of who that person is.
This is, we can see out here, things are kind of getting back to normal as this lockdown has now been lifted here as students are walking home, heading back from where they've been in their lockdown here. But I want to bring in Aiden Scott. You are a grad student here at UNC. Yep. You say you actually know this suspect that has been taken into custody here.
Yeah, I had a class with him 2 semesters ago. It was my first semester as a grad student here. I was an undergrad here before that, but it was my first grad student semester, my first grad school class. It was a machine learning class, Comp 755, and we all had a project where we had to do research together, and he was in our group as one of the members.
What's your memories of him? What was he like as a student here?
So it's kind of hard for me to cope with all of this because I would have never guessed that he would be the kind of person who could possibly be capable of this kind of thing.
Why is that?
When I was in meetings with him, he was always very quiet, English second language clearly, because I think he was from China or somewhere. And every single time that he talked to me, he seemed very nice. Like one time for the first homework assignment, he was asking me questions about like how to do the problems. And I never got any sort of red flag that he could possibly even think to do this kind of thing. Like when I saw his face on the reports online, I was just like beyond shocked that I knew him.
He has been arrested. We have just learned in the last 10 minutes or so that one person was killed. Not a student here, believed to be someone that's a faculty member, staff member here. What do you think when you hear that this person you knew may be responsible for this?
I mean, it's just absolutely chilling. Like, you don't even ever think that you would be the kind of person to be in this scenario to where there could be a shooter around you, let alone be directly connected in some way to the person, to where if he had stayed in our project group a little bit longer, there's a good chance I could have taken him out to dinner and spent time with him and been a friend of some kind with him. It's shocking to imagine that everyday people that you meet on the street could be capable of such a horrible thing.
How are you holding up? You were in lockdown just like everyone else here.
Yeah. For the first hour or so, I was kind of in denial as to what was even happening, I think. I was like cracking jokes with my friends. I was like, I don't know. I was saying some things that may have been in bad taste just because I don't think I had really processed what was even happening here. But as the time went on and as more reports started coming in and it was like, oh, you're not actually that far away from where the shooting's taking place. And oh, I'm in group chats with people who are in the building where it happened from my club because I'm an officer in one of the clubs here. And it became increasingly more and more real. And that's when the anxiety set in.
Do you know if he was still a student here, what he was studying?
I assume that he's still here. Most people who take the machine learning class here are computer science grad students. I don't know if that's the case for sure, but that would be my best guess because you usually don't get that many out of major people taking that class.
Gotcha. Aiden, hold on right here. Lena, I know you have a question I'd like to ask him as well, since as we hear this, someone who knew this person.
Unbelievable. So Matt, you know, when you're in groups and group projects with people, you kind of get a sense of maybe their ability to socialize. Did he get a sense that he had friends on campus, or was he kind of a loner? Anything he can describe as far as that?
Yeah, a great question. Lena wants to know, you were in a group with him, so you spend time with him. Yeah. How social was he? Did you get a sense he had friends, that he had a good network here?
In hindsight, I would guess that he probably didn't have a very strong network here because I get the impression that he went to some other university from out of the country, so he was probably very new and very out of his element here, and he was also very quiet, so I could easily see a situation where he didn't have that many people close to him, but I don't know that for sure.
Gotcha. Aiden, thank you for taking the time and talking with us here, but again, you just heard someone who was in a project group with this grad student here as we try to learn more about the suspect, now believed to have killed one person here on UNC campus.
Matt, you were watching live a couple of hours ago as students were being led out of buildings with their hands up, an eerie, frightening scene that we've become all too familiar with here in the United States. Now students are no longer doing it, but just kind of describe the faces of the students there.
Yeah, I mean, if we can walk around here, Aiden, hold on one second with it. We'll be right back to talk with you again. But if you see around here, the student store is right over there. So there's a lot of people. This is an area that everyone knows on UNC's campus here in Chapel Hill. And you see everyone walking around on their phones. They're getting updates. They're letting their family members, their friends know what's going on, and probably trying to reconnect with friends on campus here. Because what we saw in those immediate moments after people were being let out by police from these immediate buildings, these labs, the library here, we saw them with their hands up and police leading them out of the way. They were obviously very frightened because they're in the heart of all this police activity here. Now everyone else, as they are let out of these rooms, these classrooms where they were in lockdown, you can tell that people are just, I think, relieved that this is over with here, and trying to reconnect with their friends and family because they didn't know where to go. Those first groups that we talked to, they were just let out in other rooms. Other buildings were still in lockdown, and they were trying to figure out, where do I go? What do I do? Is it safe? But at this point, everything, the university giving the all clear here. So you see a lot of people on their phones reconnecting with their friends and family here.
Matt Tallholm reporting live for us. Photojournalist Ed Wilson painting the picture of the kind of dichotomy of seeing all those students flooding out, but also seeing the police tape around one portion of the campus. I mean, that has to be jarring, certainly for the students.
I mean, visually it tells a story. I mean, where they are, where the students are. We saw the video of students being ushered out of the buildings there. And again, just for those of you who are joining us, this all kicked off around 1 o'clock this afternoon after that alert, Carolina alert went out. And here we are 3.5 hours later, and we're hoping to get some kind of update in just a little bit. That's where we go to WREL's Shelly Jackson. She is at the Carolina Inn right now for a press conference that we're being told is going to happen there. So Shelly, tell me a little bit about what you're hearing so far since you've arrived there.
Well, Chris, we are waiting for this press conference to begin out here at the Carolina Inn. Right now, they're just setting up and getting ready, testing the equipment. If you are just joining us, though, we have confirmed that one person has died, and that person is believed to be a faculty member. So there are a lot of questions right now for these university officials. We want to know what led up to the shooting. Did the suspect, know the faculty member? Just a lot of questions right now that we're hoping to answer when this press conference begins. Chris?
All right, thank you, Shelly. And of course, one of the biggest things we're trying to get right now, Lena, is who exactly is Tylee Chi about this? We're trying to get more details about who exactly they are. We do know that WREL's Sarah Kruger is looking into that right now. But before we get her into our newscast, just looking up online based off of UNC's website, we do see on their Applied Physical Sciences department, I mean, simply by going there, you can see his picture is there. And it lists just a bit of information there saying that he entered in 2022, Tylee Chi entered the university then. And we know that at some point they attended Louisiana State University of Material Science and Wuhan University and the Department of Physics, Wuhan, of course, in China. So we're trying to get more specific details with that. Again, WREL Sarah Kruger is digging more into that, and we'll hopefully have a complete story to kind of tell us a little bit about who this person is. But we did hear from the person Matt interviewed that they had known him. They at least had a project that they had with Tylee Chi, what, 2 years ago-ish, and, you know, was a bit surprised to see that this is the person that investigators are looking for. But hopefully we get some sort of semblance of an answer from investigators, as we just saw Shelly Jackson waiting there at the Carolina Inn for a press conference as we continue to have our coverage here on WREL.
Yeah, the question this afternoon is why? What's the motive behind this? And we have crews also